Sports Interaction, Canada Sportsbook.
Hello? I did that whole thing, and oh my god. Okay, hello! I get to cover a win! I realized I'm muted now. Oh, I was muted, okay? I forgot to readjust my mic. I get to cover a Canucks win. That's why I'm happy. That's why I'm happy. Yeah. Yeah. I get to cover a win. I get to cover a win. For once. For once. Hello. Hello. Yeah, sorry, that was muted. Lol, y'all, lol, what? Oh, been a long day. Anyway, yes, welcome to Game Over Vancouver. My name is Kaja May, and the Canucks just beat the Canucks. No, the Canucks just did not just beat the Canucks. The Canucks beat the Buffalo Sabres 5-4. And it was quite close. It was quite close. They blew how many multi-goal leads? But we don't need to care about that right now. I remember seeing a tweet. I'm wearing a jersey. I'm wearing my Besser black skate. Because I thought he needed to get his first of the year. And, he didn't tonight, but he's also on a 5-game point streak. So, like, yeah. Word, we're good tonight, lol. Thank you, Nelson. The Canucks often beat the Canucks. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? Yeah. They, beat them 5-4. I saw a tweet before, when it was 5-2. The Canucks have a 3-goal lead, and then they did not, like, 5 seconds later. So, that was something. Anyway, I have to do this first because it's important. Wanna bet? You can do it at Sports Interaction Canada Sportsbook. Football continues, basketball is back, and the hockey season is well underway. Bet pregame, live in play are on one of our many prop bets. Made for Canadians by Canadians, Sports Interaction makes it easy to deposit, play, and cash out. Join now and see all sports betting has to offer. Head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. That's sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. Ontario only, 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Alright, everyone! How's everyone doing tonight? The Kaja curse is broken. Hell yeah, it is. Okay, so technically I have covered a win, but I wasn't alone. So, it's not a solo win. It's my first solo win. The last time I covered a win, it was when we won against Anaheim. Which, again, another terrible defensive job, but we still won! We still won! Yeah, so let's do a little fun rundown of the game. So I'm gonna be fully honest, I was on the train back from school, and I was sitting on the train, and I get a notification, oh, Dakota Joshua scores, and then I see, oh, Ethan Bear scored his first as a Canuck. And I was on the train, and I was like, oh, well, that's fun. Yeah. Like, that's wonderful. And then I watched the goal, and, then it was a really good play. Like, Garland, behind the net, he's fighting for it. While he's falling down, passes it to Horvat, who does, like, backhand to Ethan Bear, who's wide open, who obviously goes and scores his first goal as a Canuck, which is insane. Congratulations, Ethan Bear. Ethan Bear, I love you. Like, that's literally one of my notes from the third period is just that. I've never seen I will say this, I've never seen a team defend an empty net like the Buffalo Sabres, because oh my god. The bow pass was insane. It was insane. Also, Will Lockwood has his first point as a Canuck. Personally, I really like Will Lockwood. He's been pretty good for us in Abbotsford as well. He got in a fight last year, and that's always fun. But yeah, as his it was his 16th game as a Canuck, as a Vancouver Canuck, I should say. Yes, because he was called up twice, I believe, I have his DB open, wait. Twice, I believe, in the COVID shortened season. 13 times last year, because everyone kept getting injured at the end of the year, if you all remember that. And then, yeah, tonight is his first game this year, and he gets the win, or gets the point. He got an assist on Dakota Joshua's third goal of the year. That fourth line was like really good tonight. Like Niels Oman was winning a lot of the faceoffs that he was given when they didn't throw Bo Horvat on there for like 5 seconds. But yeah, he was good at faceoffs. Will Lockwood was all over the ice. Like he drew the penalty that led to Horvat's goal. He also was blocking shots. Like he's definitely showing that, you know, he's dependable. We have dependable depth is what I'm trying to say. Yes. And yeah, also dependable depth. Sheldon Dries still in the lineup. Also, because Jack Studnicka was injured, which we found out this morning. Don't know how, but hope he gets better soon, because that kind of sucks. You know, it's like this, we have a curse of we just get a guy, and then immediately just, boop, he's gone. He's gone. But yeah, if Will Lockwood is staying in the lineup for the time being, which I hope he is, considering Podkolzin is unfortunately most likely injured as well. God, the Canucks are cursed. The Canucks are so cursed. Yeah, that was insane. That game was certainly interesting. It was we love some undisclosed injuries. Yeah, we have so many injuries. We're like Vegas last year. Oh my god, we're like Vegas last year. So are we gonna like trade our captain now, but like not Eichel? Buffalo. Wait. Yeah, certainly interesting. The fourth line was especially effective tonight. I already said that. But the power play, we continue to convert on the power play. What about that? Wow, look, we shot on our power play and it worked. Sorry, I was at the game in Toronto the other day. On Saturday. We were down 3-2 and they had a power play and they just wouldn't shoot. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're just proving we're mediocre bad and not actually bad, because if we were actually bad, then the Leafs would have lost. Because that's just how it goes. Yeah. Yeah, Lockwood drew the penalty that led to the Horvat goal, which was insane because, one thing I've noticed about the first unit power play is they take forever to set up, and then if the puck goes out, they continue to take forever to set up again. And their setting up is literally just, I wrote down Death, Taxes, and PD and Hughes setting the puck back and forth on the power play, which I understand is, like, what they're kind of supposed to do. You know? Because it's kind of, like, the point of having the puck is to move it, but, like, preferably into the goal. Yeah, the puck gets shot out from the offensive end, and Spencer Martin sends it up to Brock Besser. Brock Besser to Elias Pettersson. Elias Pettersson to Bo Horvat, who scores. And of course, Bo Horvat scores. It's his 6th goal on the power play this season. 8 out of 14 of his goals have come on the road. So, yeah. But yeah, it shows the power play, the first unit especially, that hey, you can potentially do stuff when the puck leaves the zone. because that's one thing I think they're not getting. That's one of my impressions, especially from watching them in person, because it was my first game in person. This season, Mikheyev is an offensive monster. We love Ilya Mikheyev. Yeah. I will say we did have a not great defensive game, but like, when do we not? Um, oh, another highlight of the fourth line, Niels Oman has not missed a game this season. I believe he's the only new acquisition to do so, because Joshua got scratched, Kuzmenko got scratched in Boston. I remember hearing about that, and we were, I think, on the Uber to the hotel, to the airport or something like that. And I was just like, why? Yeah. And especially this win is kind of like, even though it was kind of a sneak out, kind of not completely deserved. Yeah, just enough for the Canucks to squeak out a win. Another struggling team. Okay, but Buffalo, we're more recently 0-2-1. Kaja just jinx Oman. Let me live, guys, okay? Let me live. Yeah. Canucks still don't know how to do defense. There was a couple bad turnovers, especially with the third line. Like Sheldon Dries trying his best. He's been very dependable. We have called him up from Abbotsford. He's also very good in Abbotsford. But Hoglander and Besser were not great defensively, and I understand they're not like supposed to be, because they're supposed to like score, because like that's like the point of them, I think. But yeah, I don't know, that line I just don't think is doing them any favors. I understand you have to do what you have to do with injuries and stuff like that, and you don't want to break up the fourth line because they were really good tonight. But like Besser on a third line, like that kind of hurts me. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm a Besser fan, but yeah, I understand. Hasn't been playing great, but also he has a 5-game point streak. Quinn Hughes' 7-game point streak has ended, considering he didn't get a point tonight. Yeah, Studnicka is on IR. And Anderson was in net, who seemingly discovered the fountain of youth. I don't know. Buffalo is like a sneaky good team where like you expect them to be bad because haven't made the playoffs in like most of my life. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's like 11. It's been 11 or 12 years since they've made the playoffs, and I'm almost 20, so that's over half my life that they haven't made the playoffs. And you're like, okay, so they're not going to be great. But then, like, we're 0-2-1 against the Sabres. More recently, they beat us. We only meet with the Sabres twice a year. Because, like, they're on the other side of the continent. That kind of makes sense. But they beat us at our home opener 5-1. So this was the Canucks trying to get, kind of get that dominance back. And they did dominate the first. Aside from, Jeff Skinner making it 2-1 and cutting the lead in half. Anderson is the only player still playing that was drafted before me. Before me? I was never drafted. Before I was born. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I had 2 lectures today. Leave me alone. But yeah, Besser does not do a defend. Hogs assumes defensive move, assumes wrong. I think OEL also controller disconnected on that one, which he has not been having a great time doing that, even though he got a pretty good assist. On Pettersson's goal. Dominate is a strong word. Yeah, well, we were doing well, so I'm gonna count that as domination, because we don't do well a lot. Which is the sad part. But yeah, the second period was defensive hell, and so was the third period. It felt a lot like hot potato, back and forth. But with the hot potato kind of situation, Buffalo, I noticed, was getting more kind of rushes. Like, there would be, like, 2-on-1 or 2-on-1, or there was a 2-on-0 at one point, but somehow Martin would save the Canucks, because always. They need to stop they need to stop relying on Martin as much as they did Demko, because look what happened to Demko. I said, why are you Demkoing Martin? Yeah, I don't know. I think Besser deserves better than the third line, but also needs to not do that defensively. Shouldn't be relied on defensively, so I feel like there should be a more defensive person on that third line to make it work. And I understand they still have to move lines around considering the amount of injuries that we have. And considering that, like, two of our players that were in this lineup tonight are AHL players. Yeah. The pairings pretty much stay the same, except they play Burrows again, which I was super happy about. When I got to the hotel in Toronto and I turned on the TV and I saw Burrows playing in the Boston game, this is before I found out he also had a fight prior in that game. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome to see Burrows. I literally did a happy dance and, like, jumped up and down. Like, I was so happy that Burrows was back. I'm a huge Kyle Burrows fan. Local boy. Always gets in fights. Yes. 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 Give me more Kyle Burrows. That is all I want. Yeah. The Canucks had a lot of dump and chase kind of hot potato, whereas the Buffalo was getting more rushes. I noticed they were doing a lot of icings. I understand late in the game, but if there's like 15 minutes left and you're up by 2, maybe don't do that, because we saw goals can happen right off the faceoff. That's what happened. I understand JT Miller for the power play goal, but that was very quick. Give me Rathbone. Oh yeah, Rathbone's out there. That's who I was missing. I was like, somebody's missing from the lineup tonight, and I was like, I know Pod Colson's probably injured, but I forgot who. Yep. Where did Miller get 10 goals from? His purpose on the ice is to score a goal, and then he scores like 1 or 2 points a game. Because I still think he's point per game, or like maybe just below it now. But that's his purpose, and then he stops doing that. Stops doing stuff for like the rest of the game. Yeah, I don't know. He gets points, and that's what like his purpose is. But he's not an everything guy. Like Tanner Pearson should be. Miller is a -8. Is that? Oh my god, he is. He is a -8. Ooh. He is under a point per game. He is 16 points in 17 games. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how Miller is second in points? No, he's not second in points, is he? He's third. He's third. I forgot Quinn Hughes was injured. Yeah. I do like, that Dries and Lockwood are getting, their opportunity. And also, everyone should go see the Abbotsford Canucks. Abbotsford Canucks are great. We love them. But, yeah, with the amount of injuries. Also, Brock Besser's a -9. I feel like that probably also plays into the fact that he was on the third line. But yeah, he has 9 points in 11 games. Miller collects points from the power play. Yeah, you could say that. I mean, his goal tonight was on the power play, but also bows well a bit. I say the best line 5-on-5 is honestly our fourth line, because wait. No, Bear's a defenseman. Why did I say the fourth line? I'm very... Oh, gosh. But consider... Yeah, those first 2 goals were both 5-on-5, and then the Pettersson goal was also 5-on-5, and it was also called back. Yeah. Very interesting. All right. At this point of the show, I'm going to ask you a few questions. All right. Can you do this favor for me? Because you guys are all part of the shows yourselves. Like this video, like the stream, comment your questions down below. If you're watching this after the fact, comment down below. If you're listening to this on your preferred podcast platform, please rate, review, and subscribe to the SDPN Sports channel. My name's Kaja May. You can find me at Real Kaja May on Twitter. It's at Real Kajamae. Because that's how you spell my name. Fun fact. Yeah. The Patterson goal was almost called back, and then it wasn't, which is good. But yeah, share the show. Invite your friends. Because, you know, we like to talk about winning in Vancouver, because it doesn't happen a lot. Yeah. 5 wins. We're 17 games into the season, and we have 5 wins. And I saw a message in the chat before I even started the stream, and it was from Nelson. The West is a joke. How are we 3 points out of a playoff spot? Which is a fair point. But yeah, everyone, share the stream, share the podcast. Yeah, just have fun with us here. We have fun. Right? Right? We have fun? We better have fun. It almost never happens to Vancouver Canucks. Oh, that is so true. That is very true. Yeah. Maybe one day our Kraken can beat you guys. Yeah. The Kraken are so... Subscribe if you really like the show. Yes. We have so much fun. Yeah, I was very surprised that we won. I was literally, biting my nails. Like, as the clock was winding down, because I was like, there's no way we pull off the win here. Because I've seen them play Buffalo before. I saw them lose in overtime to Buffalo, and I was like, okay, Buffalo's gonna tie it up, and, we're gonna lose. That's what's gonna happen. Buffalo's gonna tie it up, we're gonna lose, in overtime. And then we didn't. So that's kind of great. But then again, you know, we're squeaking out these few wins. We don't exactly, like, we're not, I know our defense is not great. Obviously, apparently, Myers is on the trade block all of a sudden. Erik Karlsson is on the trade block, so if we could do that. Oh, wait, not the cap hit. Never mind. We kind of want to keep our captain, but yeah. It was a game of a lot of pressure for the Canucks. You know, you're going into Buffalo, sneaky good team that also kind of, like, picks out, like, first overalls, like, Owen Power, Rasmus Dahlin. Eichel was second, but they traded him and literally got Alex Tuch, who scored against the Canucks tonight, so... Yeah. Besser hasn't thrown a single hit this season, apparently. So that's fun. Still like Besser, though. Yeah. Yeah. We need to stop squeaking out these quick wins, because the last 3, like, the Seattle one was 5-4. The Penguins one was the only one where we had more than 2 goals as a difference between the two of the teams. Because we won 5-1, but also the Penguins were, like, in some weird down slump for, like, 6 games. Like, I think they had a 6 or 7 game losing streak. Like, it was bad. And then my brain is not catching up in my mouth yet. Just give me a second. Yeah, I don't blame Brock for not hitting as much. I don't blame Brock for a lot of things. Yeah, I wish we scored an empty netter. Buffalo was very protective of the empty net. It was insane. It was actually insane. Um, I really thought we were going to score an empty netter. And the empty netter is the only difference that made us get with 2 goals above Ottawa, if I remember correctly. Yeah, once Brock gets his first, he'll be on a roll. He's already on a roll right now. Yeah. He's on a roll right now. 5-game point streak. Obviously, he still needs to get a goal, but, like, still, he's on a 5-game point streak, and they put him on the 3rd line. But he's doing pretty good. Considering he was also injured for quite a bit of time. Like, injured during training camp, comes back, and then the injury, like, reopens. Like, that's terrifying to me. I have one thing to mention. I've seen it in the chat a little bit tonight, but I just want to clarify. And I talked about this after the Canadiens game, because yes, while we have won, they've all been close games, and yes, the one game that we won in a not close win was Demko was in net, but that was the only win he's gotten so far this season. Luke Shen to Leafs. No. Don't take my boy. Spencer Martin has 4 of the Vancouver 5 wins. And I understand. He let in 4, and 5 goals. Oh, wait, no. The Anaheim game was 8-5, not... They had games where they were more than 2 goals. Kaja. Okay. I'm feeding you misinformation. Yeah. Favorite Canucks moment you saw in Rogers Arena. Favorite Canucks moment I saw in Rogers Arena. I was there for Mason Raymond's first game back after he broke his back, so there's that. That was cool. I was there for Tyler Mott's last game as a Canuck. Also interesting. But I will say it was also cool to see the last home game against the Kings last year. For Simmons? Myers to the Leafs for Simmons? Do you know how many forwards we have right now? Love the Wayne train. But no, thank you! Being the November Sabers is not an accomplishment. It is to me! She is very gorgeous to me! Anyway. Yeah. Good teams should be able to maintain multi-goal leads. I mean, hey, this is the same chaos hockey that the Panthers won the President's Trophy with last year. You know, just outscoring their problems. So, I mean, the Canucks haven't always done that, but, like, hey, yeah, they definitely turned something off in the 3rd because it was just not there. It was just not there. Their defense, has taken a massive hit. And I understand they're missing decent defensive players, but also, like, please stop. Please just stop. Please just stop doing the bad things. And I understand the team's in a bit of a rut. Everyone was talking about this is Bruce's last game. This is Bruce's last game. I literally did not open Twitter today. That's a lie. That is a horrific lie. I did not open, okay, I didn't open Twitter until 10 a.m., which is a long time for me. But yeah, because everyone's like, oh, it's Bruce's last day, and then the Canucks win. So is he safe? I don't know. Yeah. Back to the goalies. Martin has 4 of the Vancouver 5 wins. I understand that, you know, those games were 5-4, 6-4, 8-5, and 5-4. But, still, those are wins. Those are points. I was there for his only loss, and that was also the first loss I ever saw. Regulation loss I ever saw in person as well. He is now 7-1-4 as his Canucks record. And I am 4-1-3 when seeing the Canucks. But 4-0-3 at home. So, get me back to Rogers, alright? Yeah, so Demko did not win any games on the road trip. He played less nights on the road trip, and I understand that Martin was also winning more, but at the same time, is there a potential injury involved? Because Demko did have a procedure in the offseason. Demko did miss part of the end of last season, and that's why he was like injured for a while during last season as well. And then he played through it because Halak also got injured, and I was at that game too because it was against the Sens. Miller for Jack Hughes. No. Which Jack Hughes? No, yeah, so currently Spencer Martin's save percentage is a .898, and Demko is an 874. Both not great. They're not great, but Martin is 3-1-1 on the season. I think that should be 4-1-1. I don't think this is updated yet. And Demko is 1-8-2. So, yeah, Demko played against Boston. Was not a good game. Demko played against Montreal. We got completely blown out. Like, Montreal, I covered that game too. Cheering from the stands, Demko, Thatcher, Demko, you know, like, trolling, you know, classic trolling. Is Demko injured? Or have we made a big mistake? That's save percentages for nerds. I am a nerd. I have a Star Wars tattoo. That means I'm a certified nerd, alright? Which Matt Murray? Yeah, aren't there like 5? What are the vibes per 60? Whew. It depends. It depends. It depends. It goes day to day. Today, I'm like, you know, we could make the playoffs, considering we're 3 points out of a playoff spot, because the West is ridiculous. And I always thought people were overdramatic when they're talking about how the Eastern Conference is difficult. They're not. As someone who has followed teams more closely, they as Eastern teams more closely, certainly interesting. But yeah, Miller for Chara. Who do we send him to? The Void? Chara's gone, dude. Chara would probably help Vancouver. God. Yeah, that's the sad part about it, isn't it? The Canucks were very... Bo Horvat throwing himself on the ice to block a shot, considering, you know, that's kind of how he broke his ankle last season, I think. Yeah, I wrote, "My king, I will miss you," because, you know, people are talking about trading him, because they want to sell high on Bo Horvat, and I understand that, but I don't want him to leave, because I have attachment issues. That is why... Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. The, 5-4 goal was also very, very unlucky, because OEL, our favorite guy was screening Spencer Martin, and the puck goes off Joshua skate and deflects to Casey Middlestat, whose name I definitely misspelled. Yeah. The Sabres had a lot better chances in the third, because I think the Canucks were like, oh, okay, we're good. We're fine. We're up. And then we're not that up. And so then they're like scrambling. Myers and Garland both missed the empty net. Myers, I guess it was too high, and Garland, I guess it was, or no, Myers, I guess it was too low, and Garland, it was too high. Like, I don't know. I don't want Horvat to leave. Yeah. Like, I will cry. OEL, worst contract ever. I like OEL as a person. I understand he may bring leadership qualities, and so on and so forth. But we could have left those leadership qualities in Arizona. You know, they have to do a lot with leadership right now, considering they're playing in a university arena. which is like all fun and dandy. University arenas are cool. Love Thunderbird Arena, except my school doesn't have one. But, yeah. Imagine keeping 1 year left of bad contracts instead of getting 7 more years of one. Like, that's just certainly interesting. That's just certainly interesting. Horvat, I understand. He wants to leave. We signed the wrong guy. I've been thinking that since September. We signed the wrong guy. Oh yeah, Minnesota! I forgot. They're stuck. They're stuck with that. They're not going to survive well. Minnesota is not going to survive well. They're certainly interesting. Yeah. The Canucks, I don't know how they're going to move forward, but, a win is a win. We're taking that tonight. Bruce Boudreau is still the coach of the Canucks, and if they fire him and we have to have Mike Yeo as our head coach, I might just, stand outside Rogers Arena and protest myself, because, no. JT Miller was a +1? Wow! Congrats, JT Miller! You're not in the negative! Ow! That hurt. Coach isn't the problem, rebuild time. That is so true. I hate that word so much, but it's so right. It is so right. Can't we afford Erik Karlsson? What's his cap hit again? Cap friend. Where's cap friendly? We can't afford him! What are we gonna do? We have nothing. But we win. We win by this much, but we win. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Retool. With what? With what? Patterson's gonna want to leave. We're gonna have a Matthew Tkachuk situation all over again. Horvat wants out. Miller's gonna request a trade or just be Miller for the next 7 years. We have OEL still. Quinn Hughes is gonna want to leave and go to frickin' New Jersey. What if it is there in New Jersey? Bo, please stay. William Lockwood played well tonight. That is our positive. We have William Lockwood. I'm gonna cry on stream. Just kidding. Hopefully not. Jim betting. I hope... Yeah, I feel like it's also a little bit of the new guys, but... Don't want to say anything. Yeah, let's sign this, random dude we got who has worked out long-term nowhere else. And let's sign him to a long-term deal. Instead of, our captain! Anyway. Now, everyone, let's talk about something positive, because, you know what? Let's just get away from the negatives, and let's reminisce about the past. Okay? More recently, Kevin Bieksa retired a Canuck, just a few weeks ago on November 3rd, and yesterday, the Sedin twins, Henrik and Daniel, those guys, plus Roberto Luongo, were inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Now, I was lucky enough to be in Toronto for most of the events. I didn't go to the induction ceremony because, that's for, important people. But I went to the Hockey Hall of Famers Classic, went to some of the events around there. I took a picture with the Stanley Cup. Don't worry, I did not touch it. I don't have the picture with me at the moment, which I completely forgot about, until I was just about to start the stream. But yeah, I took a picture with the Stanley Cup. Whew. Let's talk about some, positives right now, alright? Let's be positive. Positive vibes. Positive vibes, and we'll beat the Kings. We'll beat the Kings, because you know what? If the Flames can, we can. Yeah. Anyway, let's look at the bright side. Henrik and Daniel. Henrik and Daniel. Oh, you can't even see them because my light's on. There's Daniel. There's Henrik. And then Bobby Lou. It was very interesting seeing Luongo play as a forward in the Hall of Famers Classic because he looked like a giraffe learning to walk. He looked like a giraffe learning to walk. It was certainly interesting. And considering, you know, he's usually a goalie, cut up some slack for that. But Corey Schneider was in net, which is cool. He still had like Islanders colored pads, and I was like, oh yeah, that's where he went. Because the Devils were like, no, and then the Devils still had pad goaltending, so. But yeah, it was really interesting to see Corey Schneider, because I'm like, yeah, that's the guy who we traded for the first overall, not first overall, 9th overall. In 2013, fun fact, which we got Bo out of, and now Bo is gonna leave in free agency or get traded. Yeah. He scored 2 goals. Yes, because he got the shootout goal as well, which was cool to see. Yeah, they had a weird thing where instead of penalties, like going to the penalty box, it was penalty shots. So there was a lot of, penalty shots. The goalie mask selection is really cool. That was one section I really enjoyed. I took a lot of photos in that section. I saw Vasilevsky's mask from last season. I freaked out a little bit. She doesn't love Andrei Vasilevsky. It's insane. I also got this really cool pin. It's the induction celebration pin. And it has everyone's names on it, including Alfie, Herb Carnegie, and I cannot pronounce her name. Selenin. Yes. We have a trade to announce. Oh my god. Yeah. And then we got Bo, and now we're gonna leave Bo. I'm not ready to part with Bo Horvat. I'm not ready to part with most of the guys that are going into free agency this year. Like, I think we're, like, Myers' contract is up this year, or is it next year? Yeah. It was cool. Also, I saw as we were just leaving the arena, there was a group of everyone who was part of the Canucks at one point or another all got together and took a picture together. So it was like the Sedin twins, obviously, Roberto Luongo, Brendan Morrison was there, Cammy Granado, our AGM. Kind of sick. Because, you know, she's also a part of the Hockey Hall of Fame. Because she's kind of cool. Yeah. And then Roberto Luongo, Corey Schneider, and Dan Hamhuis and Kevin Bieksa were also there, which I thought was super cool to see. Yeah. Because I was like, those are the defensemen. There's the guys. I like those guys. I like those guys a lot. Because it was certainly a trip down memory lane for someone who grew up in that era. Which makes me sound quite young, but also makes me feel old at the same time, because that era is past this era of greatness. And, with the Canucks is just gone, because then we got 10 years of Jim Benning, so, yeah. Positive! We're thinking positive thoughts. Happy thoughts. Happy beeps, buddies. Come on. Yeah, Hall of Fame it's awesome. One thing I will note, that is kind of weird, I found was kind of weird, the, Pavel Bure, who got inducted in 2013, I believe, his station, I guess you could call it, when you first walk into the Hockey Hall of Fame, is right next to Mark Messier's, and I'm not sure if they were on the Rangers at the same time, but I'm not sure either if they were the Canucks at the same time, but yeah, I thought it was certainly interesting to have this Canuck great. You know, Pavel Bure, his numbers retired with the Canucks, number 10. And then you have Mark Messier. You have Mark Messier. Are you right next to the Canuck? Right next to the Canuck. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Anyway, I'm taking the dub. I don't care that it was a bad dub. I'm taking the dub. W's, as Daryl Sutter says. W's. There's my impression, which is basically just trying to make my voice go to the lowest octave possible. Which is how I was a tenor in high school choir. Which doesn't make sense, but yeah. I was tenor and a soprano, fun fact. Yeah. The Canucks won. I feel like that's the win we should be celebrating. The Sedins are in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Roberto Luongo is in the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's only a matter of time, honestly, now until we retire Luongo's number, which honestly, I could see them doing it as like a surprise thing on the 1st, because they're like honoring December 1st. They're honoring the Hall of Fame players, and also Florida's in town, and also it's the 1st, which kind of makes sense. Yes, for once, we won. I'm in the Hall of Fame. Yes, I get to cover a game over Vancouver win. That certifies a Hall of Fame because, you know, there's only been 5 of them this year. Oh my god, I did not think they were gonna win that game. I was so scared. But I'm glad we got our payback against Buffalo. The emptiest arena in the NHL. I will say it's quite odd just to see that, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't want the Canucks to change their seat colors because the red is way less noticeable on camera than it is bright blue. That's how I'm gonna end it tonight. I feel like I've talked enough with you guys. I feel like I've talked your ear off with everything that happened tonight, but we won. Yeah. Yeah. Also, Spencer Martin, if you're out there, if you're watching, please stop leaving your net to shoot the puck. Because as somebody who watches a lot of dang-its, no good. Alright, that's it for tonight. Like this video, subscribe down below, comment, review. Scared in the Third, I definitely was. Rate, review on your podcast platform, share, do all that fun stuff, follow SDPN Sports on Twitter, and I hope you guys have a great night. Yeah, please, Spencer, stay in your net. To say the thing, if you're a goaltender, tend the goal. Also hit subscribe, Spencer Martin. Yes. Spencer Martin, subscribe to SDPN. This is a Spencer Martin, Stan account. Yeah, hopefully they win against LA on Friday. If not, you know, stay lovey. At least we're not god-awful. We confirmed that already. Alright, now, good night, everyone. I have been Kaja May, and this has been Game Over Vancouver.
Game over! Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada Sportsbook.